Yeah, thank you, Heather, for welcoming me and giving me the chance to present here at the Biophysics. And I would like to pay a warm welcome to all of you attending here today. Over the next 20 minutes, I would like to present our first results with the human-induced pluripotent stem cell-derived dopaminergic neurons by using the QPatch for electrophysiological characterization. But to start, I would like to introduce the human iPSCs, hereafter to be called DOPA or DOPA4U. And in cooperation with the company Axiogenesis, we received the fully differentiated cells, which were plated out on matrigea-coated cell culture flask at density of approximately 2 million cells. After 24 hours, one could see a neuronal-like network, as you can see here on the bottom left, and in a more detailed image here in the middle, which includes the patch QPatch. Moreover, the DOPAs already showed action potentials after 5 days in vitro, which is demonstrated in the image here. It shows a whole cell recording of adherent cells. Due to stable ion channel current amplitudes, we examined the DOPAs after 10 days in vitro on the QPatch. In previous tests with the manual patch clamp, we detected 2 voltage-gated ion channels by applying voltage pulses in the range of -100 millivolt to 60 millivolt. This diagram here shows the current voltage curves of both ion channels, and the inward sodium current was activated at voltages of around -39 millivolt. The second one is a delayed outward rectifying potassium current, and it opened at approximately -60 millivolt. In view of measuring with automated patch clamp systems, which to date are able to measure cells in suspension, we also examined detached DOPAs. And as you can see, there is no change in the ion channel composition. We also measured the outward potassium current and the inward sodium current. Obviously, the sodium current amplitudes of the suspended cells are much smaller than the adherent one. However, the channel opening is within the same range. For the potassium currents, we didn't see such amplitude discrepancies. And also the channel activation is similar to the one that we measured with the adherent cells. In order to harvest the cells, we test 3 different detachment compounds. The acutase from Sigma Aldrich was allowed to work for 60 minutes at 37 degrees. The detachant from Gelantis and the trypsin EDTA from Pan Biotech were each left to work for 5 minutes at 37 degrees. Oh, here's an error. This diagram indicates the sealing rate in dark blue and the success rate in light blue after using the 3 detachment compounds. And here, there should be values that show the number of experiments. It was in the range of 30 and here in the range of 50 experiments per detachment compound. The sealing rate means cells that obtain the gigaseal, and the success rate includes cells with sodium and potassium currents. As opposed to acutase, detachant and trypsin showed a minor gigaseal rate and even lower values for the success rates. All in all, acutase offered the best harvesting results with lower blabbing, stable sealing behavior, and slight influence to ion channel currents.
What is acutase? What is that?
Acutase is also a detachment compound, but is works enzymatic. This diagram gives you a more detailed view on the amplitude discrepancies after using acutase. And furthermore, it contains 3 different days in culture. As I've already mentioned, we didn't detect such significant differences for the potassium amplitudes. We measured amplitudes in the range of 0.5 to 1 nanoamps over the whole period. For the sodium channels, the contrast between the suspended cells and the adherent cells was rather higher. In fact, on diff 8, the amplitudes were in the similar range, but please note the higher was for the suspended cells. On diff 12, the sodium channel amplitudes were on average 60% smaller, and on diff 13, even 76%. What this image also shows is the high variance for the amplitudes of the sodium currents as well as of the potassium current. A reason for that is the variability of the dopers. Nevertheless, it is possible to detect amplitudes in the range of 1 to 2 nanoamp also for suspended cells. And because of the deviation, maybe a higher number of experiments is necessary for accurate results. With this information in mind, we start the characterization of the dopers on the QPatch. And the major objective of this project was to find out if it is also possible to electrophysiologically characterize the dopers on an automated patch clamp system. This meant examining the voltage-gated ion channels and included researching common blockers like the 4-aminopyridine, the tetraethylammonium, and the tetrodotoxin. The experiments were determined on the QPatch HD, which allows for 48 parallel recordings. The tests were sampled with frequencies at 10 kilohertz and carried out at room temperature. An adapted buffer containing fluoride was used for improving the sealing behavior. And to treat the cells with more care, we reduced the incubation time of Accutase to 15 minutes. And another step of cell protection was to fill the cell suspension directly in the QPatch centrifuge instead of using the onboard cell preparation system. After initial improvements to pressure protocols, we achieved giga-seal rates of up to 90%. Completed experiments with series resistance of up to 15 megaohm and membrane resistance of more than 100 megaohm counted as a successful experiment. At the end of the project, a success rate of up to 70% was possible. This rate depends on several parameters. We got stable results with concentrations in the range of at least 1.3 million cells per milliliter, with cultures at the age of diff 12 to diff 14, and with low pressure protocols. That means that we open the cell with minus 100 millibar suction pulses. The analysis of the voltage step protocol, which related to the protocol of the manual patch clamp, resulted in 3 different types of voltage-gated ion channels. In 83% of the cells that showed current, we could find a rapidly inactivating A-type potassium current. In 43% of the cells with currents, we found a sodium current, and the third type, a delayed outward rectifying potassium current, was detected in 18% of the cells. We also recognized a mix of the A-type and the delayed rectifier potassium current in 21% of the cells. But let's have a more detailed view and start with the A-type potassium current. The current voltage curve here on the left showed a channel activation of minus 32 millivolt for this ion channel. The raw trace data, which was detected at voltages of 60 millivolt, is shown here on the right, and it shows an inactivation time of 46 milliseconds, which related to literature values. They described an inactivation time of 47 milliseconds for the KV1.4. With the 4-aminopyridine and the tetraethylammonium, we did some dose response curves and characterized these ion channels. The 4AP was applied in the range of 5 micromole to 10 millimole. And at concentrations of 0.4 millimole, we blocked the channel activity by 50%. This is in the range that we find in the literature for the KV 1.4. Please note that we could neither block the channel activity by 100% with the 4AP nor the TA. The TA was applied in a concentration range of 50 micromole to 50 millimole. And as you can see, there is no real change in the decreasing or in the blocking of this channel activity by using the last concentrations of 5 millimole to 50 millimole. In comparison to the literature, the IC50 of the TA is slightly raised by 0.1 millimole. All in all, this incomplete block could be a hint of another outward non-potassium ion channel. The evaluation of the delayed rectifying potassium current showed a channel activation of minus 27 millivolt, which can be compared to the measurements or to the result of the manual patch clamp, which you can see here with a red dot line. At the current, which was detected at 60 millivolts, we calculated an inactivation time of 980 milliseconds, and for the tail current, an inactivation time that amounted to 3.8 milliseconds. Because of the minor presence of these ion channel, we didn't get significant data for dose response curves. The sodium channel, the voltage-gated sodium channel, are a good characteristic for neurons. And the dopa4u showed a sodium channel which opened at minus 37 millivolt. And in comparison to the measurements of with the manual patch clamp, it is within a similar range. For the maximum current, which was detected at minus 15 millivolt, we calculated an inactivation time of 0.5 milliseconds. With the compound TTX, we characterized this ion channel, and the dose response curve was measured in the range of 10 picomole to 3 micromole. And we attained an IC50 of TTX at 2.9 nanomole. To find out the subtype of this sodium channel, we examined the effect of TTX to the 7 subtypes which were expressed in commercial cell lines. The results that we measured on the QPatch are shown here on the table. And because of the similarities of the IC50, we can only exclude the 1.4, the 1.5, and the 1.7 because of the high concentration. And it is also possible that the sodium channel in the dopa4u is a mix of several subtypes. Measurements with the manual patch clamp have indicated a response of adherent dopa4us to GABA, which is shown here. In QPatch experiments, where we applied concentrations of 10 micromole or 100 micromole GABA, and as well as on different days in vitro, we didn't detect any GABA response. This image here in the middle exemplarily showed the result of a GABA application. The peaks here, 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 and here are artifacts of the compound addition. A possible reason for the absence of the GABA response could be the losing of the GABA receptors during the harvesting process. Finally, we tried also some current clamp mode experiments on the dopas, and we applied current pulses in the range of 20 to 60 picoamps. And it was possible to induce action potentials to the dopas, which is shown here in this image, and in a more detailed image here. And it shows amplitudes of 80 millivolt. Before I come to my conclusion, I would like to thank the Graduate College Velisa of the University of Rostock as well as the companies Axogenesis and Sophion for their excellent assistance. And I would dearly like to thank all the people who supported me and my work. To conclude, we can say that with the dopers on the QPatch, we achieved a giga-seal rate of up to 90%, and a success rate of 70% was possible. As we know from neurons, it was possible to induce action potentials in the doper for you. The evaluation of the voltage step protocol resulted in 3 different types of voltage-gated ion channels, as well as a mix of the A-type and the delayed rectifier potassium current. We could show stable pharmacological research on the QPatch and successfully examined the effect of the TA, the TTX, and the 4AP, but not for GABA. Nevertheless, the first test with the dopers on the QPatch give us a promising future in the field of stem cell research and give us new possibilities in the assay development. With these words, I would like to finish my presentation and thank you for your attention.